Nice.
Saw you here last year when you were with Connor and Zach at the start.
Yes.
Long road to get to the start.
Yes,
Here in Boston.
it's been long.
How's it feel to be here running?
At last, I can't wait to tell all those people, yes, I have run the Boston Marathon. And no, I have not broken 4 minutes in the mile, but I will one day.
So even a pro like you
Yeah.
is going to be pleased to be able to say that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is an iconic race, and it's on everybody's bucket list. And obviously it's fun to do it more as a pro, but I know I'd get here one day, regardless. And it's an honor to be here.
Top 10 in the Olympics. You obviously belong here.
Yeah.
What do you think about the rest of the field and how the way you want to run on Monday might fit into the way they want to run?
Yeah, incredible field. I mean, I've done my research, and obviously, like you said, I was out here last year, and I got to ride on the lead vehicle and watch Cisse Lema break away at 19, 20 minutes in, and then that's all we got to watch the rest of the time. And good on him, man. It was incredible. Cisse is going to be a strong competitor. I was very curious that he said that he was maybe a little injured.
So sweet.
So I don't know if he's going to take it out quite as hard as he did last time. But I think we all dream of the breakaway race. I go back and I watch and hear and listen about when Meb won in 2014, and he did it by breaking away, right? And it's funny, I had a conversation with Meb last week, and I was like, hey, if I broke away, do you think they'd let me go? And he jokes with me. He says, I think they'd let you go, but I know one guy that wouldn't. And I said, Connor Manson. He said, yeah, Connor Manson. We joke about it and we dream about it, and I don't know what would happen, but
it's been good.
I think one thing that did surprise me in this race is that I think Connor and I ranked 17th and 18th going in, which is wild to think about. That I thought I would be ranked higher, but that just shows the depth of this field, and it's going to be aggressive, I think, especially with good weather.
Change of pace.
Yeah. It's not necessarily, I think at least, it's not necessarily a race about time. It's not, you're not going to run the world record.
Totally.
No.
I mean, it doesn't qualify.
Correct.
How do you think about that? You want to run fast, obviously, but you want to win.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the beauties of this race, I think, and I think it actually lends well to me, where I've placed well, but I haven't ran fast yet. But I get to mix it up with the 203, 204, 205, 201. I guess you say Lemma guys, right? So it's really exciting. I don't know, to be part of that.
Oh man, yeah. It takes a lot of self-control. I deleted all the weather apps from my phone.
You want to run
occasionally
fast.
open some
And you want to be in the podium.
And I think it comes down to
Do you have sort of like a rule of thumb, when you actually decide to put stuff?
The fact that there's no pacers,
that
the weather is an unknown sometimes. I mean, it looks like it's going to be beautiful weather. I actually wanted it to be miserably hot because of my preparation with sauna and things. But
they also covered at the tech meeting.
Yeah, it is kind of nice knowing that time is out the window and it's all instant, and the course lends itself to that too. There's not like a flat mile on this course, except for maybe the last mile. But by then, it's not about pacing. It's about getting across the finish line, right?
Definitely,
that's kind of been interesting to navigate as well. Thank you.
For most marathons, if you know
in terms of your training, you said for your press conference that there might have been a few downs you experienced. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I have always raced in the middle of my marathon builds, and I usually seem to do pretty well, to be honest. Like, I feel like I can run a good, I've ran the 20K champs mid-marathon build, I've ran the 10-mile, TC 10-mile, I've ran these races mid-marathon build to kind of just have a gut check, and I've always been able to do well, but for some reason this build, I'd get on the starting line and I don't know if it was the thick of marathon training and higher mileage than ever, but my races didn't go very well. And those are key indicators for me, and so it was kind of sad to be I don't know, to have that gut check. But to be honest, I don't know. I feel like things really turned a corner with about 4 or 5 weeks to go, and I was really excited about that. And I hit some workout bests, and not that those are everything, but it just meant that I was trending in the right direction.
For Boston,
and that trend is really important going into the race.
About it or thinking about it.
And then you've obviously been really candid to share basically your whole build on YouTube. Can you talk about the process of that? How involved are you in actually the creation, editing of the videos, or you just have someone filming you, edit it, put it out?
Yeah, if anybody knows me, you know that
So I think I try to
like
get
control. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and I like to be involved, and that's one of the values that I really enjoy. And so my videographer is awesome. His name's Andrew Storr, and we've kind of been on this journey now for about a year now, and he obviously takes the majority of the grunt work of the filming and the editing, but I'm involved in the editing process and decision making, and then I'm also involved in all of like the social and the posting side of things. So I write the descriptions, the captions, the tagging, the titles, the commenting, the overlays, the data overlays. I work all of the sponsorships with Cadence and Stride and ASICS, others in the works, like all the business side of negotiating.
And so like I feel like anytime
so it's not just a handoff, and
2020,
that's why I don't know, I really value being part of the process.
Like not wanting to be out there, and so
it's ultimately it's my name, and I need to make sure that it's represented well. But Andrew's been phenomenal to work with, and he's the one that kind of sparked this. I've kind of been filming and editing and my workouts for a long time. But I never had the guts to post it and to get it out there. And his quality was so good that I felt confident doing it. And so once we shot the first 2 episodes of the Paris build, and we got him out there. I could see that this was something that was going to be special, and so it's been work to continue, but it's worth being part of.
And then, you said you want to push yourself in this marathon. You said, that the last few marathons that you've ran, you've been really strong at the end.
Yeah.
You said you want to push yourself even if it means blowing up. So what does that mean for you? Does that mean, going with the leaders, making sure you're matching every move, even if it goes out hot? What's that going to look like?
Yeah, I've been really thinking about this, how I've wanted to do this the last couple marathons. I've wanted to find my limit, right? And maybe it's a little bit of, I don't know why, maybe like learned helplessness from training with Connor, right? Like I'm always like having to not cross that line because it's really easy to go out with Connor and to maybe blow up. So maybe it's just a practice thing that I need to somehow break through, and I don't know how exactly, but that's my plan on Monday in Boston. I also purposely kind of set up myself to be able to cover those moves late in the race and not be penalized. And I guess it comes really down to this idea of trust and faith, right? Trusting and having the faith that I will get to the finish line even if things start to go backwards, and being able to hold it together, keep my mechanics and my form. It's I don't know, maybe I have a screw loose, but I need to make it more loose to be able to bust through that and kind of have that free mentality that honestly Connor Maines has.
And then you mentioned that you've trained or changed some things in your contract that have allowed you to sort of just go for it. I don't know if you can go into much detail about that. I know how these things work.
Yeah.
But if you can talk about that just a little bit.
Yeah. I guess in theory, when you get to choose a marathon, obviously you get an appearance fee to come run these races if you're good enough, and with these appearance fees you can essentially pull a couple levers, and one of those is, well, you can try to raise your appearance fee, or you can try to change the reductions of your appearance fee if you don't start the race, or if you don't finish the race, or if you don't place a certain place. And I decided to change my reductions. And so, where it would normally take X place to finish the race, I kind of was able to negotiate it so I don't have to finish as high. And that essentially gives me the freedom late in the race when moves are made to not be worried about dying to a certain place, but instead have the freedom to cover those moves and see what I can do. And that was part of it. I felt really excited about coming into this race, kind of like we just talked about, being able to run free, kind of embrace this mentality of just cutting it loose, and so that's one of the things that I decided to do, so that way I just wouldn't be held back that last mile or so.
And then
5 miles.
Pretty sure this is your Boston debut.
Yes.
What has gone to the decision to race Boston versus something maybe flat, paced, another marathon like that?
Yeah, I think, Boston's been on my list for a long time. I was injured in 2022 when I was training for this race, and then I came out here in 2023 and 2024, and wasn't, I was just here to spectate it and enjoy it, and so honestly, this has been on my list for a long time. and I was really excited to have it on my list for a long time and to finally check that box. So that way, when somebody asked me, "Have you run the Boston Marathon?" I could say yes. And so that's been part of it. And I guess as opposed to a flat or a fast marathon, don't get me wrong, I definitely looked. I really actually looked into running Tokyo to maybe set the American record. Like that was something I'm really excited about. But yeah, I guess those opportunities will come, and maybe there's some excitement this fall if whether or not Connor and I are going to chase that.